Alan, 2 cars back in that blue number 2. Clint Boyer took 2 right side tires as well on that last stop, and they removed some more tape from that grill. Clint was running hot earlier. In fact, was running in an 8th place spot, dropped back to 24th to get some clean air, and running out front earlier was able to put clean air in that car to cool it down, but they're still battling those temperatures. Jamie?
Well, Dave, the pit strategy has been rather unique for number 9, Casey Kane. Ray Evernham is his team owner. He's up on the box watching over Mike Shiplett. He's the crew chief, and he's a first-year crew chief. 2 pit stops ago, he told Casey to stay out. He was the only car that stayed out. Ray Evernham got on him and said, we should have come in. You should not have kept him out. Now we have to gamble. Long story short, last pit stop, guys, he came in with 3 laps to spare. They just topped it off, and Ray Evernham told me Casey Kane can make it to the end. Mike.
Just saw a lot of emotion out of Bryant Frazier and the Stephen Wallace team as Stephen Wallace took the lead and now leads the field through the tri-oval. Stephen Wallace came into this race extremely confident. Ran in the ARCA race a year ago and finished second. Felt like he could do something just as good, if not better, this afternoon, guys.
All right, Steve Wallace became the 15th different leader. We've now had 21 lead changes, and we still got 52 laps to go here at Talladega.
One problem with being a rookie is it's hard to get respect out there. He got the lead. All he needed was just a few of his buddies just to hang out behind him. What did they do? They split him, 1 on each side.
Yeah, Greg Biffle and Casey Mears decided they wanted to be back in front. They were not going to let this young man steal their glory. And the racing is just incredible right now. You see, as these guys tighten up and then go back to the front, it's just amazing.
And here we see Danny O'Quinn in the 17 car. Man, what a ride he's given this thing. This is his first start back for Roush after winning Rookie of the Year last year, making good on it. Man, he's making that outside groove work.
You know, Danny told me in the garage area yesterday, he said, I've only got 3 shots. I got 3 chances this year in the Jack Roush car. I got here, I've got Kentucky and Loudon. I've got to do well enough to attract someone to sponsor me to get me back in here full time after winning Rookie of the Year a year ago. So a lot of pressure on Danny O'Quinn to run well and get a good finish here in that 17 car today. With more on him, let's check in his pits with Dave.
Doc, it wasn't an early entry in this race. In fact, it was a late entry. Roush needed someone to run sponsorship for Dish Network in the race, so they got the 17 car. They got Danny. They had to switch out Matt Kenseth's seat, which is a little difficult because Danny's a bigger guy, and they also installed a roof hatch on that car. It's the only one with one in the field. In case Danny gets in trouble and has to escape out the top of his car, he can do it.
All right, Casey Mears trying to hang on up front in the 24 car. The 42 behind him is Juan Pablo Montoya. It has been an event-filled afternoon here at Talladega Superspeedway. We talk about high speeds on the high banks and high risk. This race has had it all, and we still have 50 laps to go. As we head down to Tim Brewer in our Chevy cutaway car. Tim?
Tell you what, Jerry, when the guys come down pit road, this piece of tape on this steering wheel is very important to have it positioned right here. Crew chief's going to holler at the driver, steering wheel position. The next thing you're going to know, they're going to come around the front of the car. The tire positioning is very critical. This fender opening is so tight around the circumference of this tire right here. If he hadn't got that tape in the right position, the guy changing the tire cannot get the tire off, can't get the one back on. So it's a very critical area, and it's due to aerodynamics. These guys don't want to give up anything, so they bring the driver in. He's got to have that wheel position just to get the tires on and off the race car. Back up to you guys.
All right, thank you, Tim. For more information, you can log on to ESPN.com, search word Autotech. As you understand what happens here in NASCAR racing by virtue of our Chevy cutaway car. Well, we have 23. We've had 23 lead changes this afternoon at Talladega, and it's exactly what you expect here. Drivers, and Dale Jarrett talked about it at the top of the show to Andy Petrie. If you start toward the back of the pack and you stay out of trouble, then when it's time to go in the final 45 or 50 laps, they begin to move toward the front. And guess what? We got a couple of guys named Harvick and Earnhardt who are doing just that.
Yeah, these guys, I've been watching them. They've been actually in another little small group, about 20 car lengths behind this lead draft, just hanging out. Me and Dale were talking about it. I said, I hate it when you're right. You know, you talk about all these wrecks happening with the first and second place cars and third place cars, and these guys hanging around in the back and avoiding them. But we watched that, and all of a sudden now you see Dale Earnhardt Jr. try to just take his car right up to the front, and he's made a little headway in just a few laps.
Yeah, he has. And basically probably what he was doing, he knows he has a good race car. The restarts have been a little bit wild. And so I think that's exactly what he was looking at, was while they were 3 and 4 wide, he didn't want to be a part of that for the time being. So he let them get down to really just 2 wide, and then that's when he started making his charge, and he's up into the top 10 now.
Guys, a 7 car of Mike Wallace, who was one of our early leaders, has slowed a little bit, has slowed up compared to the pace he was running earlier. There's the onboard camera for Mike and the Geico Chevrolet. And apparently an engine problem as we watch. I'll look down to the right side of that hood.
Yeah, I think that's maybe overheating a little bit. He's just getting back to get that car some air. I don't know if he might have had a piece of paper to get on the grill or something like that. I think he's just trying to get back to get that cooled down. That's where we run the overflow out, so we can see it overflow.
The radiator overflow, when they get to a certain temperature, it builds pressure enough to pop that valve and let that overflow come right out the windshield.
All right, here's Kevin Harvick and Dale Earnhardt Jr. They have now teamed up together and sailed by Casey Mears. There is Mears in that second draft you guys are talking about.
Funniest thing I ever seen right there.
And Kevin Harvick trying to lead for the first time today, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. says, no, it's my turn as they come through the tri-oval, and it'll be Earnhardt Jr.
New leader.
Well, I tell you, it didn't take him long. He was back there in that second group looking like he wasn't anything, and all of a sudden he punches the button and he takes that thing up to the front.
Yeah, less than 10 laps ago, he was back in 24th spot.
Hey, guys, look at the crowd on their feet, over 100,000 strong when that 8 car went in the front. And by the way, 3 laps ago, this 8 car was 21st on the grid. Reminiscent of anybody you've seen do that before here at Talladega?
Yeah, I've got passed by him before, his dad, to win there late, and as a lot of other people have around here. But I don't think this race is anywhere close to over. Here comes Casey Mears back on the outside with a push.
I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. has proven what he can do with his race car, and he may just be content to hang around back there. He doesn't have to lead every lap. He just needs to lead the last one. And I've seen another Dale do that before, too. His name's Dale Jarrett. You've used that strategy many times.
Yeah, but you're going to have to deal with this 24 and 60 car. They seem to work really well together.
And for more on Earnhardt Jr., let's check in with Dave.
Andy, you were commenting on whether or not Junior might just back off now that he knows what his car can do, although he goes to the outside now of David Reagan. That happened earlier. He was racing in the pack. He said, man, these guys are racing like crazy. Dropped way out of the front pack just to save his race car.
And if you want to watch Dale Earnhardt Jr. sliding back out of that lead draft, you get a great shot courtesy of our friends at Goodyear, helping NASCAR fans get to the finish line for the past 25 years. Beautiful panoramic view from high atop this 3,000-acre facility. Talladega Superspeedway, which was an Army air repair station. During World War II, they repaired B-25 bombers, and then when the war was over, the land was converted, and they began to build a racetrack here in 1968.
We're going to see this 8 car come back to the front because Kevin Harvick slowed just a little bit to get behind Junior. He could have probably gone around him and left him hanging out, but that shows what kind of respect Junior has out there. And Harvick got in there. He's got the 42 right behind him. This outside line is going to come again. Now we see Tony trying to get up and want to be a part of that, but he's a little bit late in that move.
Yeah, it's like the Pied Piper. He just gets up there. Everybody wants to line up behind a fast race car, and he just proved to everybody he had a real fast race car. So they're going to let him pull him up there.
You know, we used to say the same thing about his dad, wanting to know why everybody wanted to follow him. Well, he knew what to do. He was going to get to the front, so why not get in behind him and get yourself up there?
And give a call to Ward Burton, who was running second on lap number 4, lap number 9, when he was involved in a caution here. His car got bent up, spun sideways, and now he has battled his way back to 7th position at the back of that single file draft. With more on him, we'll check in his pits with Mike.
Well, Doc, they paid a lot of attention to that race car after the incident early in the race. They brought him down pit road on 3 consecutive laps. During the process, they changed a total of 8 tires. That's because after changing the first 4, they discovered a vibration and corrected it, not altogether with the second set, but it has been at minimum aggravation at best. And Ward really happy with the race car. Hasn't said all that much, but, you know, he feels like this is a good enough race car to win. It's the car he had in Daytona earlier this year, which was also caught up in an altercation, pretty much completely rebuilt from the A efforts, but it looks like a pretty good race car right now.
All right, thank you very much. Great effort by the 27 crew. And how about the move by, or the effort today by the 14 of Kyle Hrisseloff? And well, that crew has really worked hard, and the young man's driving probably the best race I have seen him drive all year long.
Yeah, he's been in contention all day long. We hadn't talked about him a whole lot, but he's been up there going back and forth from up front, kind of coming to the back. Now he's got a real strong horse behind him, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushed him by these guys.
And they're 4 wide right there as they go into turn 3.
Wow.
All right, Dale Earnhardt Jr., a 6-time winner at Talladega. Great memories for him, but even better memories of the man who would have been 56 years old tomorrow. Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s birthday, April 29th.